Someone still has to be the one doing the aiming. And handing that off is honestly one of the easiest mistakes to just make when it comes to working with AI or honestly any type of leverage or multiplier. But before I dive into that, I want to draw a line here because this isn't an argument against delegating or handing off decision making. By all means, go hand off routine decisions freely. It makes your life easier. I actually just made a video on this. What I'm trying to fence off is narrower than that because it's essentially a choice of premise, meaning you should be careful about what is already accepted as true within your business, because it's those beliefs that are going to either guide you towards the thing that's actually bottlenecking your business and being able to identify how to deploy the resources that you have available to you in the best way possible. It's going to give you the best and most amount of leverage possible, or if it's going to guide you towards applying all of your resources and wasting it on just more noise, on shit that isn't going to grow your business. Anyone who's used AI for any amount of time, they understand that you can get AI, especially these consumer kind of level tools Claude, Codex, OpenAI, Anthropic, these types of tools that are just more generally available that don't have effective guardrails built in. You can get these tools to agree to just about anything. And especially when it comes to decision making about your business, that's scary as shit. And if you are currently delegating your decision making to it, you are actively getting dumber. My mind is genuinely the best asset that I have for now. And so I want to keep it as sharp as I can. And I'm not saying I'm that smart of a person or anything like that. I'm just saying that you should not be delegating the hardest thinking that you have, the hardest processes that you have for your work, because it will cost you. You will get weak so fast. In fact, this is one of the biggest concerns that I hear about when I talk to potential clients for new AI tools, because again, we're working regulated industries. I just had a conversation with an architecture firm, and one of their biggest concerns, and from internally from their engineers, is that we can bring in these tools that accelerate the process for engineering design, and it works and it's terrific. But they're scared that their engineers are going to atrophy in their skills. They're going to lose the skill sets that they have cultivated over decades because they're not practicing it anymore. And the thing is, they're right to be afraid. And you should be afraid, especially if you are allocating your decision making towards these types of tools. Because one, you can convince it to agree with anything. And two, you are outsourcing the very logic that got you to where you are today. If you're going to take away anything from this video, take away this. This is by far one of the most important points I'm trying to make, is that you cannot be delegating the decision making, especially when it comes to the important things in your life, whether it's your business or your personal life, to AI. It's extremely dangerous. People do not think about this because and even if they do are aware of it, they don't want to think about it because, again, it's hard. People don't want to do hard things anymore. People want the easy route. They want the answers now, immediately, and they don't want to actually have to do any sort of complex thinking, which is why they only attack the most obvious problem in the business and why they inevitably just don't grow. And you can't buy your way out of this either, because if you just hire any regular run-of-the-mill engineering firm, more often than not, they're just going to build whatever you ask them to, regardless if it actually solves the problem, the constraint of the business, because they are incentivized to do so. But more importantly, they don't have the nuanced understanding of how your business actually works, and they don't have the acumen needed to even understand and pick that up to know that information. And so how can you expect them to be able to hear the project that you have in mind and confidently tell you that, no, we should not build this. Your problem is over here. And if you take our ability and our skill set and you redeploy the budget that you are allocating for working with us towards solving this problem, you will actually grow your business. It takes a very specialized combination of skill sets where you have to understand how businesses actually work. You have to understand how your clients' businesses work if you are going to be able to do that. And then on top of that, if you are solving those problems with AI, you have to be a good AI engineer. The majority of the resources that I have at my disposal, more than half of it, is spent understanding the actual business that we're about to work with and ensuring that the problem that we're about to solve them is something that's actually bottlenecking them. And it's not just a project that is going to grow the business, 5, 10, 20%, which is that's fine on its own. If that's what you're after, more power to you, go after that. But those are not the problems that lead to outsized returns. Those are not the things that will provide 10 times, at least 10 times the value of what they paid us and actually grow the business. That is not what we are optimizing for as a company. We are here to solve the number one problem That's it. And real quick, before you go, if you run a business in a regulated industry, you're doing 3 million a year or more, and you're tired of feeling like all the time, energy, and resources you're putting into your business just isn't giving you the growth that you want, I'd like to give you a free gift, because every business is held back by one real constraint, one single bottleneck, and yours is no different. There is one thing that's bottlenecking you from hitting your goals, and although it might feel like 100 different problems, whether it's the leads, the margins, the work while writing on a few people you feel like you can't replace, but underneath it all, it's usually just one bottleneck, and unfortunately, it's almost never the one that you'd guess. And so here's my gift. We'll find your number one constraint and tell you what's the best way to fix it, whether it's AI or something else entirely, all for free. See, over the last 7 years, my team and I have spent more than 17,000 hours putting AI to work across more than 15 regulated industries, places where a single mistake can cost millions or worse. And in the process, we've delivered over $60 million in measurable value across lower costs, better margins, more revenue, and especially higher enterprise value. Oh, and if you're wondering why it's free, well, it's the best way for us to understand your business and to tell whether your constraint is even best solved with AI. It's no pitch, no pressure. Worst case scenario is you spend about an hour with us, we do all the work, and come back and tell you that your constraint just isn't best solved with AI, and you still walk away knowing the one thing holding you back and the best options to fix it. Just go to alreadybuilt.ai/strategy or click the link in the description, put in your business information, and we will pinpoint the one function of the business most likely hiding your constraint, hop on a short call with the person responsible for that function, and in 2 days or less, we'll hand you the one thing holding you back named in a single sentence and the best way to fix it, all for free.